Happening this morning on News 12 the Bronx, police taking two more suspected members of the Trinitarios off the street in connection to the fatal push of a teen here in our borough. We're on Fordham with the latest on this investigation.
And Riverdale residents reaching out to News 12 asking for help dealing with trash troubles in the neighborhood. Hear what they have to say.
And one precinct in our borough turning its jail cells into a winter wonderland. We'll let you know where this is and how you can get in on the Christmas fun.
And how's your morning commute looking? We're taking a look outside at the latest conditions on the roads and the rails.
On this Monday, we will not be dealing with rain. A beautiful forecast ahead if you like the winter cold, because chilly air returns with some very gusty winds as well. We've got the details coming up. You're watching News 12.
Welcome back, Asha. Thanks for joining us here on News 12 The Bronx. It's Monday, December 17th, and I'm Michelle Vivone in for Gianna Gelosi.
It's very good to be back, and I'm Asha McKenzie. We'll get to our top stories in just a moment, but first let's send it straight over to meteorologist Mike Favetta. Mike, how's it looking on this Monday?
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Made it all the way back. Shalom to you.
I know. I'm still jet lagged, still sleepy, but I'm here.
Yes.
And I'm happy to be back.
We will take a look at that Instagram feed coming up because I'm sure there is much to enjoy. The forecast today, much to enjoy with the sunshine. Rain is moving out, cold, windy air moving in, but it's going to be coupled with an abundance of blue sky that will at least make it feel a little bit warmer when you're standing on the sunny side of the street. Actual air temperature right now begins at 37, feels like 30 when you factor in that wind chill. So just a bit of a breeze right now, but those winds, they get going later on tonight with a sustained wind out of the north and west at about 10, 15, 20 miles per hour. The gusts will likely be much higher. That takes the air temperature and drops it into the low 20s, so your feels like number. The wind chill, that'll be down in the low 20s all across the borough. Windy and colder today as the air turns much drier, much colder, a little feel of winter. We'll let you know how long it lasts and how long that sun sticks around coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Mike, thank you. Well, police make two arrests in connection to the death of a 17-year-old who investigators say was pushed into oncoming traffic last week.
And News 12 The Bronx reporter Sabrina Franza breaks those new details down from Fordham. Sabrina.
Good morning. Yes, and police are now also saying that those two men they arrested were members of the Trinitarios gang. They were able to track down those two men after a witness outlined the entire incident to them yesterday afternoon. This happened just about a week ago, the alleged fatal push last Monday night. Now 18-year-old Obed Adams faces charges of attempted robbery and assault, while 20-year-old Mario Almonte faces attempted robbery and murder charges. This new testimony says that here along Bainbridge Avenue near 194th Street, after the two alleged Trinitarios members reportedly beat Godoy, one of them held the 17-year-old while the other searched his pockets. Then witnesses say the older of the two men pushed Godoy onto oncoming traffic, and that push would turn out to be a fatal one. He later died of head injuries. And almost a week later now, a vigil for Godoy still stands. Meanwhile, investigators say their investigation is still ongoing. Reporting from Fordham, Sabrina Franza, News 12 The Bronx.
Sabrina, thank you. Well, on a News 12 update now, a 55-year-old Bronx man is dead after getting hit by a car last night in Soundview. This happening near 950 Evergreen Avenue. Officials say the victim, Ya Akaepang, was pinned under the vehicle as first responders raced to get him free. The victim was transported to New York City Health and Hospital's Jacoby for treatment. However, he did not survive. We're told the driver remained on scene, and the city's Highway Patrol Collision Investigation Squad is still looking into it.
And 12 is on crime now. Terrifying moments for one Bronx woman after police say she was raped in her own Pelham Parkway apartment last week. Now, a sketch of the suspect has been released. The sexual assault happening on Wednesday at around 12:30 in the afternoon at broad daylight inside the woman's apartment. We're told she's in her 40s, has 3 children who she lives with, plus her husband and mother. And the victim suffered bruises to her face, neck, and back in the attack. She was taken to a nearby hospital. Police now providing us with this sketch of the suspect, which shows the man wearing a mask. He's described as having brown eyes, a thin build, and standing between 5'10" and 6'2". If you think you know who the suspect is, please contact the Crime Stoppers hotline. The number is right on your screen, 1-800-577-TIPS.
Well, Riverdale residents say they're fed up with the trash problem in their neighborhood. We found garbage like this spilling out onto the street near West 232nd Street and Johnson Avenue. Now, some neighbors telling us this is nothing new. The step street by Johnson Avenue was clean when we saw it, but some say it's usually so piled up with garbage that it's hard to get up and down the stairs. The Department of Sanitation telling us they will investigate the specific locations and recommend the appropriate action be taken.
Everybody, they just throw all their garbage all over, and instead of, there's a trash can right there, people don't care. You know, you work in this area, and you know you should take care of your community.
And we reached out to Assemblyman Jeffrey Dinowitz, and he sent us a statement that reads in part, this visual blight, whether on a step street or in a vacant lot or in our parks or wherever, is disheartening and does not reflect the pride we should have in our community. The unfortunate reality is that even a few people can have a disproportionate impact on a neighborhood's cleanliness. He goes on to say DSNY typically does a very good job at responding to these complaints, although understandably they can't be everywhere at all times. But he says he does hope to see more sanitation services in the northwest section of the borough. So we want to hear your thoughts on this. Head on over to our Facebook page and leave us a comment by searching for News for the Bronx. You might even see your comment right here on the air.
And today is the big day happening today at 1:30. The Port Authority will announce the results of a public poll dealing with the placement of the Holland Tunnel's Christmas decoration. I'm sure you've all passed this. This issue was brought to light by a now viral video posted by Corey Windlespect, a local man clearly very upset about the placement of the Christmas decoration on the tunnel. He calls it an OCD nightmare. Do you share this nightmare? Well, this posting led to the poll, and the results, as we said, are expected to be announced later today at 1:30.
Yeah, I did see it. It is a little frustrating. Well, there's a major upgrade coming for GPS systems, but we really won't see the difference for a few years. Tomorrow, the U.S. Air Force is scheduled to launch the first of a new generation of GPS satellites. The new birds are designed to be more accurate, secure, and versatile than the current flock encircling the Earth. Now, once it's up and running, the new GPS system is expected to be able to narrow down a location within 3 to 10 feet. All right, time for another check on traffic with Christine. Christine, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Welcome back, Asha. Hope your trip was amazing. It looked great. So we're taking a look at our maps right now. We're heading on over to the Bronx, where we have some delays on the westbound side of the Bruckner heading towards the Sheridan. Minor delays here on the southbound side of the Major Deegan as you approach the Cross Bronx Expressway. Cross Bronx and Bronx River Parkway looking good in both directions right now. So let's go outside and take a look at what we're dealing with. Bronx River Parkway looking pretty good. Some traffic starting to get a little more congested here, but it is moving along nicely. This is exit 10 near 233rd Street. Drive times here, we're doing okay. A little bit of a slowdown on the Bruckner as we saw earlier, 24 miles an hour there. And then heading over to the Bronx Queens crossings, we're looking pretty good. No major issues there to report. Alternate side parking rules are in effect.
Thank you, Christine. And Senator Kirsten Gillibrand of Long Island is once again talking about a potential run for the White House in 2020.
I'm definitely thinking about it, of course.
Gillibrand says she wants to make sure her family is ready for a, quote, arduous and serious process before she makes a final decision about throwing her hat in that ring.
The Wellness Diaspora is at it again. This time, the charitable organization playing host to a brunch and clothing drive. Clothing for men, women, and kids was collected for those in need. Organizers say it's important the items are wearable and free of stains. This event also featured a brunch where chefs were on hand to teach anyone interested about different foods and cooking methods. Organizers say it's important to give back.
And we basically want to share with the community healing foods and teach them about the alchemy of food while we collect clothes to be donated.
I've prepared a holistic or an immortal foods, as I like to call it, layout here that we have here for the people who will be attending with us today.
Healthy Healing Brunch, community clothing drive, giving services to the people who need it, and just here to spread love.
And this was the third Wellness Diaspora event this year. All right, Mike, how's it looking outside on this one? It's a little chilly. Forgot my jacket.
Oh, yeah. No. How could you forget your jacket today?
She's used to the warm Israeli sunshine,
right? Like, and I need to wake up still.
It's the jet lag.
Yes.
Don't mind it.
Welcome back to the Bronx, Asha. You step outside, it's like a slap in the face with all that cold air. It hits you. It hits you hard, especially with the little bit of dry air that returns this morning. Temperatures will slowly slide throughout the course of the day back into the lower 30s. I think this is a bit optimistic considering the computer thinks we get to 46. It's like your iPhone weather. Nah, take it from me. It's going to feel a lot colder by the end of the day. iPhone. Pff. Throughout the end of the day, though, there's little ones at home from school. Don't worry about the rain. Not going to be an issue. All sunny all day long. And it will feel rather pleasant, especially as we head into the midday sunshine. Then, with the early and early sunsets, it's going to be oh so cold with those gusty, howling winds overnight. We'll tell you how strong coming up.
Well, Tom is on health now. While teen smoking has been on the decline, that appears to not be the case when it comes to vaping. The National Institute of Drug Abuse just released its annual survey. It found that 21% of high school seniors say they vaped nicotine in the past 30 days. Well, that's nearly double the number from last year. Federal officials calling the finding, quote, alarming.
And not to sound like a Grinch, but the holiday season could be bad for your heart. Because a new study out of Sweden found the risk for having a heart attack is 37% higher on Christmas Eve. Oy. And they say it reaches its peak when the clock strikes 10 p.m. on December 24th. Researchers aren't sure why, but they think things like stress, excessive eating, and traveling long distances may be to blame.